What's this song right here? You know? Do you even hear it? One of the best interludes, preludes. Right before they copyright me. Anyway. Okay. So, this is about this man at church. Again, you've been watching me, you know I'm not dating. I'm not trying to date. I just want God to bring my husband and tell me it's my husband. I'll date my husband. And the end. I know things don't work out like that necessarily, but I don't want to date. I don't want to go back and forth to this guy, that guy, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so I'm at church on the past Sunday. So I'm there with my daughter and my son. So we're sitting down and we are, my daughter's eating her snack. Okay, fine. So she's eating the snack and everything. So I'm talking to my son and we just talking, you know, whatever. So the church started to get empty. The little fellowship hall area after the service is starting to get empty. So me and my son had to go to Walmart or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to hurry my daughter up because I know one, she's sleepy. Two is I'm ready to go. It's getting late, the whole 9 yards. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting in there minding my business and everything, trying to hurry my daughter up. Am I glaring? Okay, trying to hurry my daughter up. Okay, so fine. So I'm sitting there and I see this man leaves. He comes back in and he's like, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z, whatever his name was. And that's how much of an impression he left. So he said his name is X, Y, and Z. So then I'm just like, okay. So he's like, hi, how you doing? I said, my name is Monica. And he goes to the church. I've seen him before a few times. Even sat next to him a few times. And it's just coincidental and everything. So I sat next to him and, you know, I see him around or whatever. But not really enough to say hi or anything like that. So then he went to my son and he said, hi, whatever his name is. So my son said, hi. And I said, that's my son. He's like, oh, I know. And I said, this is my daughter, Raven. Okay, fine. Oh, hi, Raven, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So then he was like, well, I wanted to know if you was married. Huh? You went, no. But then, mind you, the gesture was like this. Are you married? Okay. No. And I said, no. He said, are you happily single? I said, well, not really, but I'm newly divorced. Hoping that would push him off. I can't really say I'm happily single yet, but, you know, I'm not taken and I'm in the house of the Lord. I got to be honest. Okay. So he was like, are you married? Blah, blah, blah. I'm happy. I'm newly divorced. Okay, cool. So then he goes and he was like, oh, well, I've been noticing you around the church for a while and it seems like everywhere I am, you are. I'm like, So, you know, I wonder if that's a sign from God that, you know, we're always in the same area at the same time and whatnot. So I wanted to come over and talk to you. He said, but he had to go do something with his friend and they left the church. And then he said, when he rides around the block and comes back, if I'm still here, then it's meant for me and him to talk. I'm one of those, don't tell me God said. Because unless it aligns with the Bible, how I feel, what God told me, don't tell me God says. But anyway, especially when it pertains to me, of course. So then I'm just like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, well, would you be open for me to take you out sometime? I'm glad your son is here. So, you know, he can tell you, yes, mom, date him. No, mom, don't date him. And so I'm so glad he's here. Would you be open for me to take you out sometime? Huh? Now, for the life of me, I thought he was going to say, I have somebody that is interested in you, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But him, okay, brief description. My phone is falling. Brief description. Now, he's at least in his mid-50s, at least. He has false teeth, because I know what false teeth look like. He has false teeth. He's skinny as a beanpole. He has a little old school flat top haircut. You know, he has the Mr. Magoo glasses. You know, after a while, when your glasses are so strong, your eyes get wide and you start looking like that. Yes, Mr. Magoo. If old school people know who Mr. Magoo is. And I'm just like, not my type at all, even close. Too old for me. He's too skinny. he reminds me of my father. And he was a decent looking man, but no. So then, and I'm just like, oh, I thought I didn't expect that. I didn't, really expect you to say that. Oh, but in life we get things that we don't expect, and that's part of life. And so I'm looking at my daughter like, will you hurry up and eat your dog cheese doodles so I can get up out of here? So then fine. So time went on, and then he was like, well, can I give you my number? And, you can call me, blah, 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 and everything. So I'm like, well, you can give me your number, because I'm thinking I'm going to get your number to let you down. Because one, I'm in church, and I don't want no static in church. So I don't want to let you down right here and whatever. It's better to do it in private on the phone. Cool. So my daughter was finally ready. So I stood up, and she's getting fussy because she's sleepy. She's ready to go, whatever have you. So then I said, do you have any kids? Now, mind you, prior to that, no, I said, do you have any kids? So he was like, oh, my kids are, I'm like, what is this man doing? So basically his kids are like 28 and up. He got like 3 of them, and they're all 28 and up. 28, 30, 33, something like that. I'm like, really? So I said, well, I got these 2. So my son is 19, my daughter's 2. So he was like, oh, yeah. Then he looked at my son and said, he said, he's 19. I thought he's more like 15. Then he looked at him, he said, oh, but you almost out the house, right? Red flag number 1. Actually, red flag number 5. But definitely deal breaker number 1. Okay? Oh, you almost out the house, right? And I said, well, I have a 2-year-old. So he was like, oh, well, let me tell you, I met this sister who has 6 kids, and I could just imagine 6 kids running around the house touching stuff. I didn't want that. Red flag number 2. Deal breaker number 2. So I said, well, she's going to be around. Oh, I could just deal with 1. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because your last child is 20-something years old. That means you've been single in the house for at least 8 years. At least 8 years. Maybe even 6 years if he left a little late. Maybe even 5 years if he left at 23-ish or so. Cool. But you've been single alone in the house for at least 5 years, and you want to start having a 2-year-old running around? Touching stuff, breaking stuff, crying at 2 o'clock in the morning, eating stuff, jelly everywhere, writing on the walls or whatever have you. You go from 0 people in your house to that? Okay, sorry. Next, he gonna say, well, I'm just lonely. 3, red flag number 3, deal breaker number 3. I am not your get out of lonely free card. Okay? Ain't gonna happen. No. People see me and be like, oh, she's different, she's interesting, she's this, she's that. Well, let me try to get with her. But you can't handle all this. And I don't mean that in a conceited way. You can't handle all of this, okay? I'm a lot to handle. Why? Because I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. That's 1. 2 is I have children of vastly different ages. 1 is 19, about to leave the house technically. 1 is just born, basically. 19 and 2. So, hello. And baby daddy ain't quite right in the head. I don't really have that much drama, but he ain't quite right in the head. So I'm like vastly different, situations going on here. And I'm a lot to handle because of what I want and my worth. But I'm like, 3 red flags all in one conversation. 3. Then, so I said, you know what, we're going to go because she's getting fussy. Now, another red flag. She's getting fussy, right? So somebody else that's used to kids would be like, you know what? I'm going to let you go now because, I see you with the kids, and I know she's fussy, whatever. I'm going to let you go. No, he's still trying to have a conversation. Number 4, okay? You're not used to kids. So you're not used to the whole fussiness and lifestyle, and the red flag didn't go off to you and say, hey. Number 5 red flag is, which I thought about later on, how you going to ask me out in front of my children? In front of my children? Now, my daughter, okay, she don't know any different, blah, blah, blah. But my son, maybe I want you to be the 19th Uncle John that comes over, sneak in my house 2 o'clock in the morning and then leave. Maybe I want you to be that. Maybe I don't want you to be the next Uncle John. Maybe it's not going to work out and we cool for 2 months and we all go on our separate ways. You don't get to meet my children. That's 1. Number 2, you don't get to ask me out in front of my children. What are you what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And that's a huge red flag for me. I'm like, what? My son was dying laughing. And like someone said, it's a good thing he's not one of them hood boys or whatever. How they'd be like, they would have stepped up to him like, yo, get out my mama's face. Like, you up there trying to rap to my mama in front of me? Like, who does that? So that was it for me. So then I go, he's like, okay, go and call me. I'll look forward to your call. Okay, cool. Now I haven't called him yet. It's been 4 days now. And the reason why, because it's been so busy. But I'm going to call him and I'm going to let him down easily. And so as I'm leaving the church, he's going to start screaming after me, call me, call me. This is why I don't date. This is why. You screaming after me in the church that I go to, who I don't really know that many people yet. Call me, call me. You're a grown man. You're grown. Call me. I'm like, dude, that's why you're single. That's why. I can't. We had 5 red flags in one conversation. The conversation was like 5-7 minutes, maybe about 5 to 7 minutes. 5 red flags. I'm good. And you're not my type. You're too old for me. I'm only 40 and I don't mind dating up. That's fine. But all the other negatives is too much. So I'm just like, dude. And then I don't even want to call him to basically give him my phone number, basically. But I don't want it to be awkward in church. You know, I've seen him around enough that I'm going to see him again. So I don't want him to be stalking me. Hey, how you doing? You didn't call me yet. And, I don't want it to be weird and awkward. And I like to do things clean and be done with it. So I'm just going to call him and say, hey, this is not going to work out for X, Y, and Z reasons. I wish the best for you. The end. No conversation, no nothing. It ain't going to work. You lonely. You looking at my son's face. Oh, you about to leave the house. This is why I don't date. This is why I'm single. I keep saying, Lord, let me be content in my singleness. And if there's somebody out there for me, let him be my husband. I'm dating my husband. The end. I can't do it. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. All right. Peace out. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell. Share. Tell a friend, to tell your boss, to tell your enemy. Peace out.